Hi Lisa, interesting topic for me to hear, as I just spent the past months with my mother as she died of cancer. My sister and I took care of her in our family home where we were raised. She died on February the 20th. Sitting with her in those final days was an experience I'll never forget. It was often like sitting next to someone vast and still and quiet and peaceful. I almost missed the ease with which I could just drop into that space in this time. What puzzles me now is that while I often feel sad and tears come, I cannot connect what I feel with the words often associated with death, such as grief and mourning. I wonder if I'm cutting off feelings. I have done this in the past, but then I also wonder if I'm just making a difficulty where there is none. Thanks for any insight that you have. Yeah, grief is a funny thing. I think it depends as to where your perspective is, because grief, like from my experience of people that have died before, if I live in the same house with them and I'm seeing them every day, then when they die, there's a bigger sense that something's missing. And then when I'm seeing them less regularly, there's less of a sense of that. I don't know if that's what and there's more of a sense of missing them, or what I would associate as grief when you live with someone and when they're suddenly absent and you're used to speaking with them and sharing with them, and so it's hard to tell what your experience is. I don't know what your experience is. It depends on where you are. If you've caught up in a lot of feelings of guilt or regret or undone stories, then maybe you would experience a big sense of grief. Because I can imagine grief can be associated with things that you haven't done. But I don't know, everybody's interpretation of grief is different. Things you haven't done, things they didn't do, you'd like them to do. But if you don't have that, then it would be more, I presume the grief would be based around their actual absence in the moment. It's not so much based on what you should or shouldn't have done or what you were going to do. So it depends how your body is, like what your body has in it. None of that's wrong, it's just what your body has in it and needs to express. None of it's unenlightened, it's just that the body needs to express certain stories or odd thoughts or patterns that need to come out. Like if there were undone stories with that person, which totally might not be your fault, you might have tried to finish the stories, but if they're not finished, then your body is most probably going to feel a grief at not being able to finish those stories. Like if you lost someone suddenly, maybe. But I always get nervous replying to questions that are very directly about yourself. Like when someone directly asks, is this what's happening in me or this what's happening in me? Because I can't tell what's happening in you from these written words on the screen, and I don't want to put any ideas in your head. I want you to be able to explore the situation and be open to what's occurring in you. Sometimes when we have certain personality types, I know that I can have this tendency, especially around material things or business, is that somebody else says something and I easily adapt that view because I really don't know what the best decision is in business, and maybe it'd be better if I sat by myself and reflected more on my feelings towards it. So that's the same with what I'm trying to say with you, with your feelings, is I don't like to be too pushy on my opinion when somebody comes with their wanting to know what their experience is, because really you have to explore your own experience. And anything that I or any other speaker or anything that you read or watch can only be a way to help you explore your own experience more. I don't even like to define too much what grief is to me, because grief to you will be something different. I said after my awakening that I didn't feel the sensation of gratitude anymore. And I hear lots of people feeling, or a few people that have come up to me and said they feel bad for feeling gratitude because they think that I was saying it was unenlightened or that they shouldn't feel gratitude. And it was completely not what I was feeling. And I don't know how many years they went around feeling like they shouldn't experience gratitude. Gratitude's a beautiful feeling. But it was just something that stopped in me. And I might even have a totally different interpretation of what gratitude is to them. But thanks for your question. But hopefully stuff that I said helped you explore your feelings more.